Hello, everyone. Good afternoon to you from my end. It's so exciting to be here to celebrate the graduation and award ceremony of Cohort 20 of our LinkedIn Elevation program. Like when I say Cohort 20, there's a way it feels in my mind. I can't believe that we've been doing this for 20 months, right? Like back to back every month, 21 days of our LinkedIn Elevation program, and then a graduation. So this is the 20th graduation. It's so exciting. I'm going to be looking at the chat. If you're the first to come into the room, say something just so I know you can hear me and my voice is coming through. So let me know that you are there. Let me make sure I'm not just talking to myself. We would have a very impactful conversation today, right? We have a special guest. I'm so excited to bring him on stage. But before I do that, let's see who is here. Let me know on the chat. Let me know that you're here. Let me know how your Sunday is going. Let me know where you're joining from, what time it is in your country. Just something, just so I know that you can hear me through and through. So before we keep going, I'm going to just introduce myself, I guess, for the people who may not know me. I believe at this point, most of you who come around, you probably already know me, but I'll still do a quick intro. And then I'll talk a bit about Scholar Up Mentoring Academy, what we've been about, right? Very soon, we are going to be marking 2 years. This is 20 months. So 4 more months, and we will be 2 years. So that's something to be super grateful for. I do hope you can hear me. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. All right. So while we are doing that, I'm going to let me share a quick video that talks about Scholar Up. It's just a 1 minute video. I think that would help us to help anybody who is not very familiar with what we do at Scholar Up to just kind of get an idea. I think I need to also update this video because we are doing more now, right?
Success begins with the right guidance and opportunities. And at Scholar Up Mentoring Academy, we are here to help you unlock your full potential. Whether you're preparing for graduate school applications or building a standout professional presence on LinkedIn, we provide the tools and support you need to thrive. Our programs are designed to help you craft a compelling personal brand, position yourself for global opportunities, and achieve your dreams. Led by Dr. Amaka Ifaduba, a dedicated mentor and coach, Scholar Up empowers you with personalized mentoring, actionable resources, and proven strategies to take bold steps toward a brighter future. Scholar Up Mentoring Academy is more than a program. It's a community dedicated to helping you succeed. Take the first step today and discover how we can guide you on your journey to greatness. Follow our page for updates and access all our resources at linktree.com/scholarupacademy. Your success story starts here.
Okay, so that is Scholar Up Mentoring Academy in brief. I think the only thing missing in the video now is about Scholar Up AI and Tech Academy. That's our new initiative, right? So I'm going to talk more about that in the end. I see so many people have joined in the chat, so let me just shout out to you. Let me know where you're joining from. I see my dear mentor, Heyman. He said life is good. Yes, I'm happy to hear that. I'm glad to know that life is good. And I see Taufik. He said he's joining from the greatest country in the world, New York City. Is New York a country or a state? Which one is it? It's good to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. And we have Esther. Esther says she's joining from Abuja, Nigeria. Heyman said he's joining from Washington State. Yes, I know that already. And you say you can hear me. Thank you so much for being here. It's really exciting to have people here. You know, when you're on a live call and you are talking and it feels to you like, is anybody hearing me, or am I just talking to myself? So seeing your chat, it makes me really happy to know that there's quite a number of you who are listening in today. So my name is Dr. Amaka Ifeduba, as we heard from the video. I'm the founder and lead coach of Scholar Up Mentoring Academy. We've been on it. This is our 20th cohort. I'm really passionate about mentoring people, about providing learning opportunities and creating learning community. That is what we've really done at Scholar Up this past going to 2 years now, right? Just creating opportunities to learn, to keep ourselves showing up, to understand that at the end of the day, no one is coming to save you, right? That's something that once you reach that conclusion in life that nobody is coming to save you, then you know you have to get up and do the work. It's just you, the stairs, and the climb. So it's exciting to celebrate today. We have the graduates. I see quite a number of them in the chat. Some of them may come into the studio to us as we go on with the program to share their experience this past 3 weeks of being with us at Scholar Up. I see Professor Roxana in the chat. She says, congratulations to the 20th cohort. Hooray. Congratulations to Dr. Maka and her team for doing a great work at Scholar Up Mentoring Academy. Thank you so much, Professor Roxana. I appreciate your kind words. And then I see Prince joining from Abuja, Nigeria. Oh, I see Ma Ibironke, who is always very busy and traveling. It's good to have you here, Ma. Thank you so much for joining us from Lagos, Nigeria. It's so exciting to be here. We have Nenna. Nenna says, wow. Nenna, tell me where you are joining from, and I fan too. Let me know where you are joining from. I'm so happy that you all are joining our call today. Today, we are having a very important conversation. We have a special guest. He's behind the stage, and I'm going to bring him up now so that we can get started with the program we have for today. So let's see. I don't see him again. Let's see. Let me be sure. Let me be sure his network. He was here just a minute, so maybe he's signing in again. Okay, so while we are waiting for him to come back, let's keep saying who is in the chat while we're waiting for him to join. Oh, Heyman says, I'm talking to myself, however, the world is listening. that's that's so funny. Okay, he's back. I'm so glad. And then we see Ibrahim say he's joining from Lagos. And then I say she's joining from Port Harcourt. Okay, I see our special guest is back here. And then I'm going to bring him up on stage so that at least I'll feel less lonely, right? I'll feel less lonely. I will know I have someone to talk with me in the studio. Hello, Oche. Welcome. It's a pleasure
Thank
to
you.
have you here today. We are so excited to have you. So Oche has a
Thank
really,
you
really
very much.
long bio, but I'm going to read a short one. I think if you're on LinkedIn, you probably know him already, right? If you're like a LinkedIn person. Oche Writes is a reputable content marketing trainer renowned for his exceptional prowess in empowering entrepreneurs, digital marketers, and business owners to create content that builds a global brand. With an illustrious track record, Oche Wright has cemented his reputation as an influential figure within the content marketing landscape. His extensive expertise has guided countless creatives and brands towards harnessing the potential of strategic content creation to build and fortify their brand identities. Notably recognized as the top 200 LinkedIn creator worldwide. Okay, we're going to be there. When I grow up, I want to be like Oche, literally. Commands a substantial following that exceeds 100,000 dedicated enthusiasts. Yours truly, right? I'm one of Oche's followers. This is a testament of his thought leadership. It underscores his capacity to captivate, inspire, and educate an audience across the globe. So, with that said, Oche, thank you again. I know you're very busy. I was supposed to bring him on last month and he was busy, and I was like, that's not an excuse. You're not off the hook. I'll just shift it to the next month. So, when I came back, it's like, okay. I'm going to be here this time. So thank you so much for making out the time to spend this one powerful hour with us, right? We don't take it for granted. I know today is Sunday, it's evening where you are. There are so many things you can be doing or you could be doing with your time, but I appreciate you honoring us with your presence. So welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you so much for having me. It's good to be here. I've not really accepted LinkedIn lives in a long time because of crazy schedules. But yeah, I'm glad that I was able to take out time to show up and I believe it's going to be an exciting conversation. I'm looking forward to it. Hi, LinkedIn community.
All right. Okay. Before we jump into the conversation, let me make two quick announcements. The first one, please help us share the live, right? If you're here, you can share it. Today is Sunday. People could be relaxing and they just see you share it across their feed and they can come into the live and learn something. So help me do that. Just help me repost. It's free. You don't have to pay, right? So that's the first quick announcement. Second one, please, if you have a question at any time during this call, I'm always monitoring the chat. So if you see me looking these other ways, because I'm trying to see what's happening in the chat. If you have a question, just ask the question. I would ask the question to Oche, and then we can have a conversation around it. Okay, that's it. Let's get started. So my first question for you today, Oche, is what was the turning point in your journey where you realized that content could become a serious career and business, a business lever for you, right? Because you do it very seriously. You do a lot of things. So how did you arrive at this point?
Okay, thank you for the question. So, just to give again some of the things I'll be sharing, I'll pretty much be sharing from my own my personal experiences, right? Just to give more context to everyone who's joined in and who will join in as we go. So when I joined LinkedIn, and I'm using LinkedIn because LinkedIn has been like the major backbone for me in terms of everything I've built, today, right? When I joined LinkedIn, to be very honest, I didn't join LinkedIn because I was trying to exactly build a brand, right? I pretty much just wanted to share my thoughts on something. Now I knew that I had a little experience around content marketing, so I knew that I could share my thoughts in ways that would help people to maybe learn from my own personal experiences, right? And that's literally what I wanted to just do on LinkedIn. So I opened my LinkedIn account. It was restricted after like one day or so, and I was like, oh, I think I'll just stop here and not bother and go back to my Instagram, right? But I don't know. I was listening to Gary Vee over and over again during that period, so he kept hammering on the fact that LinkedIn was pretty much important. So I said, okay, you know what? Let me try again. So I opened another account. So that's why when you search Oche Writes, you might find two accounts. One is the one I've opened first that had probably like, just a few followers. And the second one, of course, is my current major account. So I opened my second account, and yes, thankfully they didn't restrict that one. So I just kept doing what I was doing. I kept sharing content, putting out my thoughts, sharing my thought process, my day to day journey. And I was genuinely just doing that out of the goodness of I wanted to just share my thoughts and help people learn from my own experience. I wasn't even positioned as an expert or someone who has had like donkey years in marketing and all of that. I just wanted to share my genuine thoughts, right? And so for me, there was no pre-thoughts as to, oh, I want to take this thing as a brand building opportunity or a business, whatever I've been enjoying from that today. I wanted to just share content that talked about
Mm,
content marketing. And
right.
so the turning point for me was when, just doing this, I started to get certain messages or requests. Hi, Oche. Um, Please, I love your content so much. I would love you to train me on content marketing. How much do you
Mm.
charge? I was like, eh? How much do I charge?
There's
I don't,
money
I
in
don't,
it.
I don't charge. I'm just sharing my thoughts. So I'm the first time I ever got a message around training a particular brand's sales team, a marketing team. I was really surprised. I had no idea because I had no. So when they asked for my rate card, I went to my friend who was probably, who had more experience, in the marketing space compared to what I had, and got like some advice from me. And he was the one that would say, "Oh, okay, charge them this figure." So I came back and said, "Oh, this is so and so amount I'm going to charge you guys." And they're like, send an invoice. Like, eh? Send an invoice. Okay. There's something here. So you know
Hmm.
what? That's pretty much one of the instances that I started to say, okay, you know what? I think this can build or birth something profitable. And I started to get other opportunities. Hi, Oche, we'd like you to speak at our event. Send your rate card. Hi, Oche. We love the way you create content. Um, we want you to also share content about our brand and just help tell our brand story to your audience, send your rate card. So for me, it was when I started to get all those kind of requests around speaking engagements, consulting, coaching, influencer partnerships, or influencer marketing, that I said to see, without me pitching, I never went to anybody's DMs to say, oh, I do this or I do that, right? That was really when I started to see that, oh, content wasn't just about expression, it was about positioning. And that was what my content was doing for me. So as much as I was trying to just express my thoughts, but on the long run, the ripple effect of that was that I was positioning myself for, all of these major opportunities that I was getting at the time. So yeah, that was the turning point for me.
Yeah, that's totally it's totally relatable. It makes a lot of sense to me because I the people who know me, they know when I showed up on LinkedIn in 2024, like sometime in the middle of 2024. Honestly, I just wanted to express my thoughts. That was really all. There was no I want to build Scholar up. I want to build a brand. No, it was just I'm a graduate student. I'm doing a PhD. I'm tired. I just want to have a creative outlet to share some of my life experiences. And from that time to this time, my brand has just continued to evolve as my life changed from graduating to moving here to doing this. So it's totally relatable. And I think the one lesson that I pick from what you've shared is I just want to help people. And in the process of helping people, you end up helping yourself without even going to pitch, without even going to struggle. So that will lead me to my next question. I see so many other people have joined us in the chat. Welcome. I'm going to take a minute to welcome you properly just after this next question. Now, you showed up on LinkedIn, you had your first account blocked. You wanted to give up, but then it's like, okay, I'm going to try again. You tried again and you stayed stuck. And you started moving forward. Before those results and those recognitions started rolling in, what were some of the doubts and the struggles that you dealt with personally? Because I've seen your content, I've heard you say a lot that you're an introvert, which is hard, right? It's hard for you to convince anyone that you're an introvert. So, for an introvert who is listening to you, I know that introverts generally are not people who are so always wanting to be visible or always wanting to be in the crowd, right? So, what are some of the personal struggles that you had to overcome to feel like, okay, no matter how uncomfortable this is, I see the gain far outweighing whatever this discomfort that I have to face to just keep moving forward and not just fall on the roadside, right?
Yeah. Okay, I think you've pretty much answered the question for me, right? One of the first points I was going to highlight was I'm an introvert, right? I genuinely do not like social media. I know that's a little crazy to say, seeing that of course, I mean, we're the ones telling people to create content, but I genuinely, if you leave me, if I was probably a billionaire, I think I genuinely think I would not have anything to say on the internet. I would just be, in one country on an island or something. I don't have any advice for anybody. Do what you want to do, right? But so being an introvert just I would call it an obstacle because for me it wasn't a comfortable thing for me to just share my thoughts publicly. I was more comfortable in a very small group of people or within amongst people that I was already conversant with. So I mean, I knew that, knowing that, oh yes, I am, this is the core of who I am, this is my nature, but that nature will not exactly help me to get the kind of opportunities I needed to get or I desire to get. And so I figured, okay, you know what, we're gonna have to find a way to, a balance. I'm not saying I would be an extrovert overnight, but I can pretend to be an extrovert for a bit, and then maybe I will get used to it. So yeah, that's how I got the or someone the confidence to start sharing my thoughts on the internet, and putting allowing people, because they say that once you put your stuff, your share your thoughts publicly, you can't control what people would say. I mean, I don't like problem. Just so it was a big deal for me, but I was able to somehow overcome that and started to share content. But secondly, when I started to share content, I didn't get all of these opportunities I was getting immediately, right?
Right.
So I think in the first few months it was crickets. I can't even someone commented on a post very recently, of when I first started, and I read the post, and I think it was just like 6 likes. I was like, oh my god. Because I honestly cannot find my earlier posts. You have to scroll and scroll. I don't know how that person did it. So I was like, oh my God, I had this number of likes at this particular time, or this engagement capacity at this particular time, and I remembered how, yes, for my first few months on LinkedIn was cricket. So one major issue for me, or obstacle or doubt, was I was wondering if I was even being heard, right? I knew I
Mm,
had good thoughts to share. I knew I had good things to say, but I wasn't exactly sure if I was going to get the attention, or if anybody was paying attention to what I was saying,
anybody
right?
cared?
So anybody cared, exactly.
Right.
Right, but so that's why even up until now, I'm very, very big on patience, because the
Mm,
thing about, but that journey taught me that visibility sometimes would would pile up quietly or compound quietly
pounds,
before it
yeah.
explodes publicly for everyone to see, right?
Mm,
And the reason I'm saying that is recently, because I started to build on other platforms. So recently, um I made a post on TikTok, and the post went somewhat viral, and had like over hundreds of thousands of views.
mm,
And what I also learned from that post again, because I have different experiences at different times that teach me or remind me of some of the things I already know,
right.
even personally, right? So what I learned from that was, um, people that post went viral, but guess what happened? The post that had maybe like 100 views or 100 likes even came up a bit more. People found that viral post, but they came to my other posts and started to
Mm,
engage in those posts or save them,
mm,
or in fact, I remember getting some DMs and say, "Oh, I saw this particular post of yours, but it was this other post that made me to reach out to say, okay, you know what, I want to work with
mm,
you." You get
mm.
so that's why I'm always pro. Don't worry about that early stage 5 likes
Right.
that you'll be getting, because all of those moments will build onto something bigger for you. So for me,
Right.
doubts were being an introvert, just the core of my nature, and
Mm,
secondly, wondering if attention was something I was even getting, or if people even cared for
mm.
my content. But over time, I was able to learn that all of these are parts of a brand building journey that you have to
Yeah.
experience.
Right. Oh yeah, that's really so good. I think you said something that caught my attention, and if I'm going to rephrase it in my own corny way, I would say some of us, the way the people I mentor, I say you are too broke to not be visible, right? You don't have
Correct.
the luxury to. You're not a millionaire. Your dad is not a millionaire. You don't have anything. Nobody is
Mm-hmm.
coming. So at some point, you
Truth.
need to get over yourself. You just need to get over
True.
that discomfort. You need to find out, okay, this thing is going to take time. It requires some level of effort. It requires learning, but eventually it pays off. So thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. Let me say hello to some of the people in the chats that have been trying to say something to me. So we see John Caleb. He said he's joining from Accra. John, thank you for being here. We see Alondra said, I'm joining from Prosa, Washington. I was in Washington not long ago. So it's good to see someone from Washington. Thank you for being here. And then Nanger is joining from Cameroon. Thank you for being here. Ijoma is joining from Jos. Yes, it's been a long time I was in Jos. I was actually born in Jos. Thank you for being here, Ijoma. It's so good to see you. I see Engineer Sunday saying quite a bit. Let's see what you're saying. From Ibejuleki, a special shout out to me and to Oche Writes. I checked my LinkedIn today and reflected on how much your support, encouragement, and guidance have truly impacted my journey. You both have genuinely helped shape my growth professionally and personally. Oh, wow. Thank you for believing, supporting, and pushing me toward excellence. I do not take it for granted. Grateful always. Engineer Opemi, that is heartfelt. Thank you so much for your beautiful message. It makes me happy to read that. Thank you so much. And then my Bironke, I guess, is responding to what Oche said. He said, help is a two-way street. If you start with sharing your knowledge, people will seek you out for it. And that's true. That's just totally, totally, totally true. So we see Gloria joining from Lagos. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here. And Heyman is agreeing with my Bironke. We see Ephraim joining us from Taraba. Thank you. And Italoye is repeating what I said. You are too broke to be invisible. Yes, please write that down. It's important. If you've not made it, find a way to make sure you're putting yourself out there. So that will lead to my next question. Now I see this happening all the time, right? So I've been guiding people on this journey. This is cohort 20. So I've seen it happen so many times that people are consistent and they're posting consistently, but they don't see any meaningful growth. And sometimes I've come to see that, sometimes if you're consistently doing the wrong thing, It may not give you the results that you want to see. So, what are they getting fundamentally wrong? Where you see people who have truly, and I've seen it happen, where somebody really is consistent for 6 months and still nothing has shifted. They cannot say, this is the meaningful thing that has happened for me because I've committed to this journey. In your experience, how do you guide somebody who is in that kind of situation?
Okay, that's really an interesting question, and I'm even just going to write on what you mentioned, right? Which is, people sharing content consistently and not getting results. And for you, you always let them know that it's not just about the consistency, right? And that's so true because, I'm going to share like a scenario. I think recently in January there was a particular challenge on TikTok where there's like a 30-day challenge. A particular guy came out to say, "Oh, I want us to make content that talks about um I think it was helping people just being able to show up on video, right? Obviously because of how TikTok is very video oriented. We're just helping people to understand how you get used to showing up through
Right.
video. I forgot the name of the challenge. It was like a 30-day or 31-day thing for January,
Mm.
and now, a lot of people were jumping on it, and it was really amazing because I think it helped people to also, show up consistently for 30 days. It's a big deal doing posting video content for 30 days. I can understand
I did
writing.
15 days one time and it nearly drove me crazy.
Yeah, I can imagine. So I can
Yeah,
understand writing. Writing is a little easier to,
right.
put together. But videos you have to shoot, you have to edit and all it takes it's a lot more process, right? So I remember getting like a few messages from some people on TikTok and saying, "Oh, I'm not getting results from my, content." And when I probably have like a glimpse, I could almost spot the reason why they weren't getting that, the results that they desired. Now the thing is, consistency is not the same as clarity. So what that means is the fact that you're putting out content, it doesn't mean that you're clearly taking a standpoint that the results that you're trying to attract, the people will be able to see the content in that light. Because um for me, that's why I always say something very powerful, which is consistency is not about it's not about intensity, it's about persistence, right?
Right.
So what you want to be able to do is f- to help your consistency to be productive, right? What you want to be able to do is you want to make sure that you're posting with a strategy. And I know that strategy can seem like a big mumbo jumbo marketing word, but the truth is it's very important, right? Because what I've realized or what I learned from that 30-day period that people the challenge that people took on TikTok was that a lot of people were sharing content, but most people were posting without a positioning strategy.
Mm.
And don't forget that's what I said in the first question that for me, what I realized, because of the kind of opportunities I was asking, I was getting the kind of request I was getting. Oh, come and speak here. They wanted to travel down to this particular city to come speak. We want you to, handle the training of our sales or marketing team and an organization, our company. We want you to, be on this particular campaign for this particular brand. So I realized that what it did for me at the time was what my content rather did for me at the time was it was positioning me for this kind of opportunities. It didn't
Right.
mean that some other people or some of my friends weren't sharing content, right? They were sharing content like I was doing, but they were not getting this kind of opportunities like I was getting at the time. It was because of the way that my own content was positioning me. So that's what I learned that most people just tend to post without a
Mm.
positioning strategy. And you have to understand that everything you share or everything you post or don't post is building your brand.
Right.
Right. So posting without a position sharing content without a positioning strategy will be a no-no for me. Second thing is people tend to share information instead of perspective. The reason that's very powerful is because we live in a world where there's the internet, there's Google, there's everything that you can, there's even chat GPT now, right? So information is not so hard to find if we're being
Mm.
honest, right? But what I think people are looking for is beyond information, they want connection. And
Right.
the way that that connection can happen is if I can see things from your own perspective. So for
Right.
me, I wouldn't say here is 3 ways to stand out on LinkedIn. Instead, I will tell you how I started out on LinkedIn and how I struggled with standing out, but I was able to now learn that, oh, this kind of content would help you to stand out. And that's what started bringing results for me. So I didn't teach you, I didn't give you information, I shared my perspective.
Right.
And that's is what will help you to connect with my content. Like I said, people don't just want information today, they want connection. And then the third thing is people tend to chase trends instead of building authority, right? And if we're being honest, it's authority that gets you the results, the opportunities that can change your life.
Right.
Probably have enjoyed certain that I've been to position in a way that helps people to see me as an authority within my niche or within my space. And that boils down to three questions you should always have to ask yourself when you're posting, which is the in marketing we call it the who, what, why. So that's who your content is for. Be very clear about that. What is the problem you're trying to solve this for these people that your content is for?
Right.
And then why should they choose you to bring that result solution to them? So by
Yeah.
understanding and using this as guidelines to your content, it then helps you to, be able to stand out and
That's
also get
that's
results with
that's
your content.
wow. That's really that makes a lot of sense, right? So at the end, it's not about giving information because
Oh yes.
hey, information overload. Everybody,
It's
all of us, we have
exactly. Exactly.
one sort of AI model or the other, Google, ChatGPT, everything is out there. So it's about what is your unique perspective? What is your unique value proposition? What makes you different? Why should I care about what you're sharing with me? That is really powerful. And I think that will bring me to my next question because this is now for new people who are coming on board. In your opinion, how do you think people should decide what they should be known for? Because if I'm hearing you correctly, what I'm hearing is that it's not about just coming to share, share, share. You need to kind of take a standpoint, right? You need to decide that this is what I want to build around, or this is the kind of authority that I want to build. What would be the best way for a new person who is just starting the journey? Maybe they've just done this 21-day sprint and everything is still looking strange for them in terms of deciding that this is my niche, this is my positioning, this is the stand I want to take. What will be the process that you offer them?
Okay. The question has like that question has like certain layers that I would have loved to unpack because of time. But one of the things that so you know how to say two truths can exist, right? So I think in this particular question, from my perspective, because when I started out, I used to advise people a lot. Be clear about what you want to post. Be clear about who you want to, be clear about what you want to be known for.
Right.
However, I also now, through the course of my journey, I've also learned that
Mhm.
there's also the set of people who figure that out as they go or as they
Mm,
grow,
that's
right?
my
So
opinion.
exactly. So I kind of stopped aggressive. I used to be very aggressive about it. No, don't do anything. You must be know if what you want to do for. Know what you want to be. Sorry, be clear about what you want to be known for first before you post anything. But I realized that not everyone might be opportune to have that before they start. Some people
Mhm.
might figure that out as they go. And even
Mm,
for the challenge I saw on TikTok, one of the person that I was speaking to, that's what I told them. I said, "Okay, you know what? I know that you might not have been clear about what you wanted to be known for. So it might be quite tricky to say, oh, I'm going to use 21 days to position. But I think that you've done this 21 days, sorry, this 30 days now, but you would have been able to get some data as to, oh, these are the things I loved sharing more. These are the things I moved
mm,
towards more. These are the things that my audience loved more. You probably
mm,
have gotten some of that data that can help you figure out certain things. Now, that's on one end, but on the other end, which is directly to the question you asked, and that's what I did for me, right? I was opportune to have clarity as to what I wanted to be known for. So even when I was filling in my bio for my headline for my LinkedIn, I was clear, content marketing. I was very clear about it. And every piece
mm,
of content was, hinged on content marketing, right? So what I like to always advise people to do is there are certain intersections that you can use as guidelines or as touch points. Number one would be your competence. So for me, the reason I stuck to content marketing wasn't because it was content marketing was even still pretty new in the marketing space. I mean, as an active thing that people were talking about, right? It was still very young. Now everybody talks about content marketing and all, but at the time it was still a very very new conversation. So
Right.
I didn't even lean towards that because I was trying to. It was a trend I was just trying to explore, right? For me, I already had experience, in content marketing. I had done some things here and there, even before coming on LinkedIn.
Right.
So I already had some certain levels of competence around that. And that's why I figured, okay, you know what? I know this thing. So I'm just going to share my thoughts on this thing that I know, and which is content marketing. So for me, it was first of all competence, and then the second thing was credibility. I say credibility because I'd done this thing for like a few set of a very close set of people at the time, not publicly, right? Very close
Right.
set of people. I remember I had worked with a particular business owner. She was building a consulting business at the time, and I did some work with her around content marketing, and it brought in really great results. So I have
Right.
certain levels of credibility, and so that's why, okay, that I can anchor on content marketing as my point of branding or positioning as well. And of course, the third element or the third pillar would be your contribution. Like I said, I'd already actively played or dabbled around that field and had
Mhm.
contributed in certain ways to certain people and certain brands. So I had that, figured out. So for you, if you're trying to start, or I think those are intersections that can help you. But again, no pressure. If you haven't really figured out some of those things, I think that another thing you can also do is, now that you've done this 21, let's say 21 days challenge, for example, look at your content. Which of the content did you love sharing? That's something to note, because that means that's something you love to talk about.
Right.
And then secondly, what you love sharing and what your audience responded to the most. Then find a way to bring that together and create a middle ground, and so that you can now understand how to now say, okay, let's combine these two. What I know, what I think I like, but also what my audience responds to.
Yeah, that is. I really love the perspective which you are able to provide from experience, right? Because I also remember vividly when I showed up on LinkedIn and talked about whatever I wanted to talk about. So many LinkedIn guru told me I was doing it wrong because I didn't have a niche and I didn't care about having a niche. I wanted to talk about anything I wanted to talk about, right?
All right.
So it's like today I can tell you about agriculture. I was getting a PhD in horticulture, so I write articles about it. Tomorrow I tell you about graduate school. Next tomorrow I tell you a story about my life. And honestly, I was figuring it out. And Scholar Up came about from people asking me questions. So it was me responding to a problem. People would reach out and say, "Oh, how do we come to the US for graduate school? How do we do this? How do I'm like, oh, okay." And I was answering. Eventually, I'm like, I can actually make this a thing where instead of
Mm,
giving individual answers, I can have people in groups and it's easier to talk about them. So I really love that you were able to provide that balanced perspective because some people are so stuck in their ways of saying, for you to build a brand, you must have a clearly defined niche from day one. And that scares people off because it's like, I know how to
sure.
do 10 things and I don't know how to box myself in. So does it mean I should sit down and wait until I figured out that one thing, two things? For some people, it can be easy. Like in your case, you said, I was already doing this thing. It was a matter of finding ways to share it. For some other
Sure.
people, that's not the case. So that's a good balance, and I believe that would help anybody who is, that spectrum of I already know what I want to do, or I really don't know what I want to do. What I tell people, I say, if you don't know, start with what you're already doing day to day. Tell me about your life. Tell me
Mm,
about your stories. Tell me about your learning journey, and clarity will catch up as long as you are intentional about finding that clarity. So that's really good. Thank you. Now, the next question I want to ask is there is a lot of buzzwords and uncomfortable truths around personal branding. In fact, most times I believe people don't even, nowadays people throw around personal branding. It didn't used to be a thing, at least in my own world. Personal branding didn't used to be a thing. I didn't like social media. I still don't like social media. LinkedIn is actually my first platform of ever being on social media, right? Ever in my life. So it was for
I
me
can
a way of
relate.
looking for ways to connect with people, right? So what are some of those uncomfortable truths around personal branding or some of those buzzwords that from your experience you can say, no, this is not it. This is not what it's supposed to be. Just to provide some clarity around the word or what it's supposed to mean when people say I'm building a personal brand. What would you say to that?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. So yeah, I would say that something. I mean, there's a lot of thoughts around it, to be honest. But I think something that I've seen very consistently, and I can also, attest to, is something I like to call the perception reality. Right? Perception reality. So what that basically means, you know how people like to say something like, "Just be yourself." Right? Just be yourself when you show up. Just be yourself. When the people that like you would, come see you and all of that. And I get where they're coming from. Genuinely, it's important to not lose elements of who you are because you're trying to build a brand, right? But however, the truth is, people there's a certain level of that statement is not so complete, right? Because the truth is, people don't experience your intentions, they experience your signals. So what that means is, i I can't read your mind. I don't know what your clear intentions are. However, I can read your signals, and from those signals, I cannot probably try to form a perception of what I think is in your mind, right? And that even applies to an everyday life, so much so that it even applies to something like something that's very powerful, something like relationships. You know how when a guy is um probably trying to court a girl, or trying to get her attention, and the lady might not exactly know what the guy's thoughts are towards her, if they are genuinely true or pure. However, what she would use as a yardstick to measure is the signals the guy gives. Oh, does he call me when he says you call me?
Red
You know,
flag or green flag?
the green flags, the red flags. When he talks, does he really allow me to speak about what I want, what I care about, the things? Does he hear me? Does he listen to me rather than just talking about himself generally? So she picks on those signals and then uses that to judge on what your intentions might genuinely be towards her. I feel like I'm a relationship expert right now.
Yes,
But however,
relationship coach.
however, and that applies to our everyday life. So the reason why the statement "just be yourself" might be a bit tricky is that, because for me now, I'm an introvert, right? But I knew that I cannot genuinely take that introverted nature and apply it to the things I'm doing. I don't like to be on stage. I don't, even this call we're having now, I probably have peed in my pants, but I knew that that wasn't going to be very, very helpful for me to what I was trying to build, or what I was desiring to build, at the time. So I'm an introvert, but I didn't have to come and stand on the stage and act like an introvert and just, nah. I would try to put my best foot forward. And that's why I even had the guts to start making videos. When I started LinkedIn, I was just doing writing, and I was very comfortable with it because I'll hide
Right.
behind my words, right? But then I went, a step further and started to make videos. And it was a big deal for me, right? So what I mean again is, i- if you don't shape your perception, the world will shape it for you. So what you want to do is, you want to be able to um completely take hold of that perception by yourself, for yourself, and
Right.
build it so that you're now be able to position in a
Right.
way that can help you get the results, of the whatever it is you're trying to get in any kind of thing you're trying to build, right? So for me, is that whole perception reality. Because another thing to notice, value is a function of perception first before reality. So it means that people will perceive that something is valuable first before they experience its value in reality.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
that should also help you to not figure out how to be able to build your perception in a way that aligns with the things that you want to be known for. Again, it doesn't mean that you have to do that. Some people might not draw the line, and that's where there might be issues. But always make sure that whatever you're doing, you're not losing the elements of yourself that make you you.
Making you, wow, that's really good, and that's so practical and so deep, right? Because it's easy to say be yourself, but maybe who you are is not going to solve problem. So it's not going to give you the results that you need. Then in that case, you need to grow, right? So how I always tell people, I say, hey, you can come as you are, but don't stay like that. Find ways to evolve, find
Mm,
ways to grow, just find ways to learn so that you're actually building the perception that you want. Because I loved what you said about intention. Nobody is a mind reader. Nobody's going to read your mind, right? I don't know what's in your mind. So it's those signals you're giving me, whether it's green or red or whatever color is it, the signals are. That's what I will be placing my judgment on. And no matter how we say don't judge a book by its cover, people will judge a book. All of us will judge a book by its cover, right? So
True,
that's just the
true.
way the world works. So it's important that you're putting your best foot forward. Thank you so much. I'm going to pause for a minute to see what our friends in the chat are saying. I see my dear mentor Heyman. He says, strength comes from one's ability to listen and understand before trying to be understood. That's true. So it's important, right? And then Italoye is repeating what Oche said. He said people share information instead of perspective. So it's very important that you understand that the whole point of building authority, it's not just to share information, right? And then we see John from Accra. He said, thank you, Dr. Maka and friends. Scholar Up is helping me receive recognition, and I'm most grateful. Oh, I'm happy to hear that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. And then Italoya is also repeating, you should always know who your content is for, the problem you're solving, and why you should be hired. That is so, so, so important. Ijoma said, visibility compounds till it becomes obvious. One moment of spotlight built in the quiet can lead to long-term visibility and success. You are too broke to not be visible. Yeah, that's very, very important. Okay. So thank you all for all your contribution. I see there's a lot of contribution, right? Heyman is telling you, Oche, I said, stop telling yourself you're an introvert, right? So, don't tell yourself you're an introvert. Yes, thank you.
Okay, I will try not to. I'll
Stop
try
telling
to
that to
stop.
yourself. Thank you, Heyman. Yeah, he says it as a yes. Zubeda said, if you don't shape your perception, the world will shape it for you. Zubeda, how are the people in Uganda? It's good to see you here. Thank you so much for being here. And I see Juliet. Juliet, the financial advisor. She said, true, come as you are, but don't stay as you are. True. Thank you all for being here. Thank you. She says, congratulations to Cohort 20. It's always good to have this big Scholar Up family. It makes me happy to share this time. So at this moment, I see Ulo, he's at the back of the stage. If you want to come up, I'm going to put you on the stage. If you want to say something, and I'm going to announce the award winners. So the members of Cohort 20, if I see you at the back of the stage, I can bring you up to say something for a minute or two. We announce the award winners, and then we can wrap up the conversation. I think I have two more questions for Oche. Thank you so much, Oche, for your patience. Ulo, I don't know if you're there. If I see your camera on, then I'll bring you back on stage. I see that you're here, but I don't know if you're ready to say something. Yeah, just let me know. You can let me know on WhatsApp or something. I'll be looking to see. Just let me know on WhatsApp if you're there, or you turn on your camera and I'll bring you up. Okay. So let's go to the award. Typically every cohort, we always have awards, and everybody has done well, right? It takes a lot to show up on a platform like LinkedIn and learn about content writing, showing up, just being visible, overcoming yourself, because it's all about overcoming those personal struggles. So for each cohort, we always have like 5 award categories, and this is just a reminder for you, right? There's no award that's too small. You say, I went through this thing with people and I received this award. So starting from the first award, which is the most consistent. So the person that posted 21 over 21, showing up almost at the same time every day, both in time and always showing up with good content. This award goes to Precious Ozodi. So she embodied persistence, consistently posting content every day, demonstrating commitment and reliability that motivated the entire cohort. So please, let's say congratulations, send some love emoji for Precious. I don't know if she's here, but it's an honor, right? So we're so happy to hand this award over to you, and you get your award after the show today. Now, the second award goes to the person who is behind the stage, right? This is the Silent Achievers Award. So this award celebrates the quiet achiever who may not always be in the spotlight, but has made significant strides in their LinkedIn journey. Their impact is felt through the quality of their work, the depth of their insights, and the unwavering dedication to growth. So this award goes to Ulo. I don't know if you're here and if you want to say something. Congratulations to you. Keep showing up, talking about the ocean. You're the first
Congratulations.
person I've seen talking about the ocean on LinkedIn, right? So make sure you're connected to Ulo. Let me put him up on the stage again. I think this is his LinkedIn name. Oh, okay. Now you're here. Welcome on board.
Hi, good
Congratulations to
morning.
you. It's good to
Thank
have
you
you
so
here.
very much.
Right.
I'm
So, can you
really,
share just a little bit about your experience with the cohort? You're very new on LinkedIn. You have less
yeah,
than 200 followers, right? Maybe
yeah.
less than 200 or so. So, can you just share why did you decide to come on LinkedIn? What are you doing? What are your goals? And how was the experience for you?
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to share your stage. I'm actually coming from a marine sector, and then having studied nautical science and always spending time at sea. Well, LinkedIn has never been my thing, and I've never really liked social media.
All of us.
I love to be there, but not seen. I love to be behind the scene all the time. But a sister of mine actually encouraged me to get registered for the course, and then I was like, wow, this is gonna be like an opportunity to learn something new. And seriously, I've really learned a lot. Coming to LinkedIn, trying to post, reading from people messages and posts, I was like, wow, I think I can actually do better. And then ocean conservation have really been a thing I've been so passionate about. And then I remember those days at sea, I used to see a lot of materials like waste, all these non-bio wastes floating at sea. And I used to ask myself, how did this thing get to this place? Because from the distance, from the ocean to where you have the land, and it's quite a distance. So I came back one day and I said, okay, let me try and see how the environment is. And I was so disappointed. So when I now got to some seashore and I see how people were actually dumping refuse, even some government were actually dumping refuse just by the seashore. And I was like, wow, this is so bad, and I'm like, okay, I have to do something about this, not just being passionate about it. So I had to start by creating awareness, organized campaign, and I organized cleanups, and I invested a lot. And for the first time, I came on social media. That was on Facebook. I got a page on Facebook, but simply because my face was always out there, I got discouraged, and I went back. I was like, no, I don't want people to see me. So, but coming back to LinkedIn and trying to make it was like, wow, this should be another platform where, because I know a lot of people don't really know about the harmful effects of these things on the ocean. And
No.
most of the things we neglect at home, most of them end up in the ocean, polluting the ecosystem. And at the end of the day, we end up consuming most of these things through the marine lives, you know. So I was like, this should be a good platform for me to also showcase this. And then also doing one or two with AI, and then I see how I can actually get AI to get involved in ocean conservation awareness and all that. So I'm really grateful for Scholar Hub Academy. Um, I've learned a lot on LinkedIn, and I don't see myself like going back. I'm
Okay, good, good. I'm
going
happy
to
to hear
enjoy
that.
myself, and hearing from Oche too. I knew someday he started just like me with
Right.
zero or two, followers, and then today he's being known globally. And
Right.
I would love to be known globally too, and I would love people to also understand more about ocean conservation and see how we can actually get our environment neat, and then try to let people understand that we shouldn't get religion, because what I also understand from a finding, a lot of people are religious motivated and they believe in leaving the earth and going to heaven or going to their paradise, so they don't really care about where they're living right now. So because they're living here, so they really have no interest about keeping this place clean and safe. So we should bring our mind back and then try to keep our environment clean. And knowing that if our environment is bad, it will end up in our ocean, and our ocean is our life, you know.
Right.
True.
Okay.
So thank you so much, Scholar Up. Thank you for your mentorship pattern. Thank you for all your daily review. Dr. Maka, you've been so amazing, spending time every day trying to make sure you go through everybody's post to have one or two things to say, and advising us on what to do. And I'm really, really, really grateful. because I've learned a lot for the 21 days I've been on LinkedIn. I've learned a lot, and I've learned patience. I've learned consistency, which it's one thing I saw myself struggling with some time ago. But now being consistent for 21 days after I left school, and I wasn't really, apart from work, is something you already patterned to do
You have
a
to
certain
work now.
way. You understand? So you go to sea, you know what you're gonna do at sea. So already patterned. So, but being
True.
consistent with something that I've never been my
But
thing for 21 days.
you have to
Wow.
decide to be it. Nobody is
That's a
forcing
whole
you.
lot. That's a
It
whole
means
lot.
I can be consistent with a whole lot of things. So,
Right.
Yeah.
and that actually inspired me to um, get involved with the AI
Yeah,
mentoring,
boot camp. Yeah,
and
that's good.
the passion I got from the LinkedIn cohort. I think I see myself putting that in what I'm doing right now, and that has inspired me to want to do a lot of things at the same time. You
Happy
know,
to hear that. That's beautiful. So where are you
finish.
joining us from again?
I'm
I've
great.
forgotten.
I'm grateful.
Where in the US are you? Which state?
I'm in New York City.
New York City. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Thank
It's
you,
good
Chair,
to
for your
Thank
your
you.
story.
Oh
Thank
yeah,
you so
it's
much.
good to have you here, Ulo. Congratulations on the
Thank
award, and
you. Thank
I'll
you,
take
man.
it up,
Congratulations.
right? Yes, all of us started LinkedIn with one follower, then 10, then 20, and then Oche went to over 100,000, right? So
Yeah.
it's a journey. So everybody starts at a particular point, and you have a unique perspective. That's something I kept telling you, that you just need to position. Not every, very few people are thinking about the ocean and all of the
True.
things you're talking about. Oche, what do you think? What advice
Oh,
do you
I
have
think
for Ulo?
I think it's a very. In fact, when you mentioned, which I was like, oh, nice. I actually haven't seen that, but I think one of the things that LinkedIn helps is it also helps you to it opens you up to people that are interested in these conversations but haven't exactly come out to see them. So when they now see you talking about it, it's an opportunity for them to say, oh, I love what you're talking about. I'm also very interested in that. How can we work on this? How can we build something together? The way I found a co-founder for one of the brands I've been building, it was pretty much from sharing content. I was like, oh, I love what you're doing. Let's build this particular thing together. Right. So I think
Right.
it's a good one.
Yeah, so it's a very unique. In fact, I would say it's a very small, like, I don't know. You are the first person I hear
It's
talking
very
about it.
niched.
So
Yes.
yes, I would say take the advantage, really double down on it, and share from your experience. You've been there, done that, been at sea. You know what you've seen. Eventually, you'll find the people to kind of begin to build things around and even create very meaningful change, which is, I believe, that's just creating impact. That's what we're about, right? At the end of the day. And thank you for all your kind words. So we have two more awards. For engagement champion, this is somebody who is always liking, commenting, and sharing other people's posts. They are the heart of every conversation. So this award goes to Jane Chingwe. I haven't seen her here today, but say congratulations to her in the chat. And then we have,
Congratulations.
yes, we have one more award to go. She keeps coming in and out. I don't know if it's Nigeria that is happening to Esther, maybe.
I guess so.
Yeah, so the last award today is for the most improved on LinkedIn, right? The most improved person throughout this process. So for the individual who have truly blossomed on LinkedIn, showing remarkable growth in their writing style, their content creation, and building a strong, engaged following. So they've managed to turn their LinkedIn into a beautiful brand. This award goes to no other person than Esther Isaac. She's right here. I think the network is throwing her out. She's come in and out. Esther, if you're hearing us, congratulations to you. If you want to say something quickly, you can do that before I would ask Oche the last question I have for him so that we can call it an afternoon for me and an evening for those of you joining from West Africa. Esther, do you hear us? Okay. Yeah, well, that's Nigeria happens. You
Nigerian
can say what you're
happens.
saying in the chat. Esther, you can tell us what you want to say in the chat and I'll project it. Congratulations to you. I know you mentioned to me that you really wanted to come on stage, but I guess the network is not letting you do that. All right, let's see. I have such a nice mentor that is always saying beautiful things to me. He said, having followed Dr. Amaka for almost 2 years, I can say that Amaka broadened my perspective and enriched my life. Thanks, Amaka. Thank you, Heman. I appreciate your kind words. You're always very kind to me. I appreciate you for saying that. Esther is so persistent. And I'm persistent with you, right? I'm also persistent. Okay. I'm so happy you're here, right? Thank you for being so persistent. I think it's your
Yeah, you made
network.
it.
You made it, yes. So please go ahead and congratulations. Congratulations on your award. So let us know what you want to share. We are already wrapping up.
Okay. Good evening, Ma. Good evening, Mr. Oche. Thank you for speaking to us this evening. I got a lot of value from you.
Thank you.
Um, okay. Can you hear me?
Sure.
All right. So, um, before I joined this cohort or the challenge, I know I launched a brand recently, but then before the brand, I had this conviction in my heart a long time ago for like over 5 years or 6 years to make what I do professional. That's caring for the elderly. Okay, so
Very
for
good.
these past years, I've been doing it unprofessionally. I've been doing it just anywhere, showing up where I can help. But then it has been just like, scattered. Then launching the brand actually happened just last year, with the help of someone who I respect so much. And she is the one that actually encouraged me to join the challenge to help me out and to also grow my LinkedIn presence and visibility and to share what I have in mind with the world. So I'm very passionate about elderly people because my mom, as she ages, I started understanding some certain things about elderly people, though I love gisting with them. So that's where the whole thing came off from. Then joining this challenge helped me. I'm not a social person. I hardly do anything social.
Very lot.
Speaking
All
too,
of us.
I don't like speaking. I don't like stage. I get jitters for stage, like so. But Dr. Amaka has been so helpful with her encouragement, especially her voice notes to encourage to do this. And I started following it like a book. She said we shouldn't do it like religiously, but I did it religiously. And I'll be very sincere, this challenge has actually helped me. I didn't know that from people I do not know commenting, engaging me, chatting me off, um, the like going to my DM to chat me up as being like, I'm surprised, like are you serious?
LinkedIn
These people
star.
can
Don't
actually
worry.
connect with me. I mean, they resonate with what I'm doing, like what I'm doing is right, and all those, so I should keep it up. So this actually encouraged me to go into do more research about what I'm doing. So my name is Esther, and I'm the founder of Golden Nest Care Network, where I actually want to help elderly people age in fun, not in isolation. Care that protects them and support that empowers them. I just want to bridge a gap for the elderly people, help them, support them, and also help busy adults navigate this elderly care something. To reach out to me to help them in any way I can. I can. So I think I have a connection with older people. They talk to me.
That
They
is
talk to me. They are
beautiful.
very free with
That,
me. So during this challenge, I actually went back to like check in with the older people who I actually got caregivers for and to help them to check in with them to know what is going on in their life and the people who are with them. And the testimony I got was very encouraging, like it motivated me. This I went back to do that when you actually asked us like behind the scenes, because I don't have a lot of behind the scenes, like I didn't capture it. I was just doing my thing going. So I went to check in and the woman was so excited that I contacted her and she was telling me she has not been the person, it's this elderly, you don't just get people for just like that for them. You need to study them, know about them, and also get someone who can tolerate them. So getting those people, especially the last client I called, getting that this person understands her. You know, as elderly people, I mean, as they age, they start being, I don't know how to put it now. I mean, agitated
Happy.
and the anxiety, any small thing they can
Mhm.
pick on you. So you have to just, they
Mhm.
are like babies, like you have to just, pamper them like that. So I'm happy that she's good and she's in a good care and she's getting what she wants. This challenge has actually stretched me, but then I've never had a challenge that I finished. I usually, back out or
That's
just
a
like
win.
it's not by force. But I've been consistent and my writing improves. I'm even like, am I the one writing this? Like, and like, it's been awesome with the challenge, and I'm thankful to God that I saw the end of it, and I'm here. I'm super excited, and I'm very grateful to God. I'm very grateful to you, Dr. Amaka, and I'm grateful to Scholar Up Academy and the entire team for keeping this going and all that. So thank you very much. And I believe I'm still growing. I learned a lot today with Mr. Oche. So I have a lot to learn still, and I have a long way to go. And I believe I will be able to do it. For finishing this, I'm ready to go for more. Thank you, Ma. Thank you, everyone, for having me.
Yeah,
Congratulations to
congratulations.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
congratulations,
Ma.
Esther. And honestly, you're doing such amazing work. What you're doing is really, really amazing. I see Heyman. Heyman is telling you, she says, Esther, you are working with the wisest people, the elderly, and that is true. So good work. Keep it going. It's not a lot of people that understand the importance of caring for elderly people, right? It's everybody don't get it. So you're doing something beautiful, but something I always teach the people in the cohorts that good people must learn to make their work exciting and new, because it's now your job to make us understand the value of what you're doing. Otherwise, you can be doing it and it's scattered all over the place, and it could be scattered all over the place, and nobody knows what you're doing, right? Nobody may know what you're doing. Nobody may appreciate what you're doing because you're not talking about it. And I liked that you said when I asked you for user generated content, you had to go back to ask them. It's important, a good way to advertise what you're doing. Get some of these old people to do video testimonial. Let them do
Yes,
videos with you. Those are the best way to get
definitely.
more clients, because it won't be you saying, I know how to care for old people and provide them with good care. It will be them agreeing with the support that you've given them and how it has helped them. So I would say keep up the good work. Oche, any word for Esther? I'm sure you caught most of what she was explaining before you dropped off. And then I have like one more
Yeah.
question for you. Mhm.
But yeah, I think I like what Dr. Maka mentioned, which is pretty much aside the content you would share regularly, if you can, if you're able to get content from the elderly, that's the people you're directly, working with. It'll be nice. It'll be good for show and tell. And because we live in a world where that really helps you to, show people that you're doing this actively. It helps to build trust because in the end, and with social media, with LinkedIn, if you're able to get that trust can then build authority, and then the authority can then help you to get more opportunities. So yeah.
Right. Good.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Oche. We are going over time a bit, but I feel like this is a very important question, right? For me, I feel personally, I tell the people that I coach all along. I said, for someone like me, I cannot be on social media just because. Like the reason I show up on social media cannot be for me to post content and people will like it, and that becomes. I couldn't do it. For some people they can, but for me, if there is no clarity or purpose or direction to what I'm doing, eventually to say that okay, I'm building some kind of business, I'm building something, and that I'm using this as a tool, right? So, at what point should someone start thinking about monetizing their visibility and all of those things, and also make it not transactional, but feel like, yeah, I'm building the foundation. Of course, the money may not roll in immediately, but at least in your head, you feel like I'm going somewhere with this thing. And it's not just that I'm showing up and people are happy that I'm posting. So, at what point should people make that decision? I feel like that's a very important question.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I agree with you. And in fact, that's some of the things I've been actively trying to speak about. One of the brands or the companies that I'm building is called Reels by Circle, and that's one of the things we help brands do to create content that actually converts, and not just as opposed to just creating content, right? As you know, people might say. So for me, that monetization part is very important. However, I wouldn't say that there's a particular time frame for you to say, oh, I've done 5 years so I can monetize now. I've done 1 month so I can monetize now. I've done 2 months or whatever, length of time so I can monetize now. Right. What I think, and I'm speaking from my own perspective and my own journey, what I think can help you is before you think monetization, or monetization basically should follow something which is signals. I think I mentioned signals in the beginning. So for me, when I joined LinkedIn, I was sharing content actively. And yeah, of course, content was positioning me and all, but I didn't join LinkedIn and then 1 month after I was saying, oh, buy my products, buy my service, hire me, hire me, hire me not. Right. I only started to do that when I saw that there were active requests from people saying, "Oh, hi, Oche. I'm seeing that you're doing this. Do you have like a one-on-one mentorship? Do you have a training?" I said, "Oh." So from people's problems, I would then create a solution in the form of a product or a service. And that's why we even created, that's why I curated my own company, Reels by Circle. It was from seeing that, okay, brands were creating content, but they were just creating content for the sake of selling their products. However, it wasn't bringing them conversions that they desired, right? So we actively started to work with these brands to help them create the kind of content that converts. So writing back to what I was saying, it was pretty much because I saw these signals. It was these signals that then helped me to realize that, okay, I can monetize this. The first time I ever got a request to from a brand to work with them to create content, I never imagined in my life I was even going to be like called an influencer, right? I was just doing my thing. So the
Right.
brand reached out to me and said, "Hi, Oche, how much will we pay you to make this content for us?" I'm like, "Eh, really?" I didn't know. So I had to go and ask some of my friends that were already doing content creation on Instagram, and the rest. Okay, how much are you guys charging? How does it work and all of that? Before I got some insight on that, and was able to charge the brand, and then the story went on from there. So follow those signals. It will always come. It can take. It doesn't have a particular time frame for that's fixed in stone. It can happen in 1 month for some people. Now, for some people, it can happen in 12 months. For some people, it can happen in 6 months. However,
Right.
always look for those signals, right? So start thinking monetization when people start to ask for your help. You can also, okay, you know what? Instead of giving this thing to one to one persons like that, I can create a package for it, and then productize my either my knowledge or whatever it is that you're trying to productize. Also, I think it's important to think monetization when you have like a repeatable solution to real problems, so that
Right.
it's almost like you have like a pattern, and this can almost work for this more than a particular person, for a group of people, a set of people, however the case might be. So and then to do this, to avoid transactional, because like marketing would say people don't like to be sold to, but they like to buy. What you want to do is you want to be able to teach generously, right? So when people can perceive that, oh, okay, this person is genuinely trying to help, then that scare of trying to keep their money in their pockets you might break that barrier a little bit, right?
Right.
So share generously. In fact, I used to always tell people that I create content and share content so that you don't have to even need me to work with me or hire me. That's the truth. But however, they always come to hire me. I don't know why. But however, also share outcomes, right? Of what you're doing. So when people see that you're
Right.
doing this thing for other people, it becomes easier to want you to do it for them as well. And then thirdly, don't find ways to position your product or service or your offer as a support rather than buy from me. Do you get?
Right.
So yeah, those are my 2 cents.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you. I like how you just being real with it. That hey, there is no, it's not cast on stone, right? It's really not cast on stone because it all depends. It depends on so many things and how much experience and skill and the clarity with which you're solving a particular problem, and it has to be repeatable, right? So it has to be like, I know what I'm saying, this is what you're going to get, and then being able to show where you've done it. I think that helps a whole lot. By the time you begin to stack up your results, it becomes easier for more and more people to even seek you out. In that case, it wouldn't be you struggling to blow your own horn. People will help you do it, right? So,
Sure.
Ijoma, welcome to the stage. You have like 1 minute. We have to be out of here in 5 minutes, right? So, Ijoma helps me. She's the admin at Scholar Up. It's good to have you here. You want to say something in 1 minute so that we can go. Oche, thank you for your patience. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, can you hear me, Ma? Can you guys hear me?
I hear
Yeah,
you.
Okay,
sure.
okay. Good evening, everyone. It's been an amazing time. So much learning. I was looking forward to the learning today because it's like it's become a pattern, and I really appreciate all that we've learned today. Looking forward to applying them. I mean, and then of course for our graduates, I'm sure they're overexcited because it's not just that you're graduating with even much more knowledge added to what has been acquired in the last 21 days. And I
Right.
see them just going far and making the most of this opportunity. Dr. Maka, you're doing so much, so much for Scholar Up. And on behalf of the entire Scholar Up, I just want to say thank you so much. And of course, on behalf of the entire Scholar Up, Mr. Oche, you dished as if you were paid $1 million for this. This is like a whole master class. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Ijoma. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for keeping the group, for all the admin work. We really appreciate it. You're doing well. Thank you very, very much. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
coming on stage. And I see my bureau care agreeing with her chair. She said, you can figure it as you go along. I've been figuring it out, but it gets clearer. That is true. That is truly, truly true. You figure it out. So, Oche, the very last question. This is the advice for our graduates, right? So, this is our graduation, like I explained to you. We've done a 21-day sprint, showing up and learning. So, now you want to give them a strategic directive about visibility and how this can change the trajectory of their life. What would you be just talk directly now to the graduates of cohort 20 on how they should do with this 21 days of learning? How do they make sure it doesn't just end with 21 days, but they can continue the marathon until it compounds to something beautiful?
Okay. So yeah, just to wrap up, again, line on the back of what I've some of the things I mentioned. The truth is visibility, brand building, authority, all of the things that you are trying to do from showing up, from sharing content, comes from relevance, right? So for me, that's the key, that's the north star for me for when I'm for whatever it is I'm sharing. The way that it's relevant to the people that would consume it, right? And that's why I always say that there's no random acts of content. Everything that you share or don't share would help form perception that which in turn, would build your brand. So
Mm,
visibility comes from relevance. So that's why I'm not such a big fan of virality because
mhm.
for me it's
Me
even
too.
beyond, yeah, it's beyond the point in time where you have a particular piece of content that gets blown up. For me it's about the relevance. That's why I don't even rate likes. I would rate people saving your content more when I share stuff. I had a particular piece of content on TikTok that did good numbers, and when I was looking at it, I think it had 10K plus likes, but the saves were like 15K plus. I was like, oh, this is amazing. So for me, these are the kinds of things I look out for, because if people are saving my content, it means that they found it relevant enough to want to come back to it in the future, right? So visibility follows or comes from relevance, all right? And then relevance builds authority. Authority generates opportunities for you for whatever field you find yourself in. So for
Right.
every graduate here, maybe over the next 6 to 12 months, if over the next, let's put that 12 months, right, you consistently help people think better, you consistently
Right.
help people decide better, you consistently help people do better, you consistently help people act better, then you will not be chasing for opportunities. I can promise you the opportunities will be chasing you.
I agree with you. Thank you so much. Thank you again, everyone. So, if you want to join cohort 21, I think Ijoma will have the link in the chat. If you want to, we have our AI program ongoing. So, cohort 2 will soon start. If you want to join, well, if you follow me, then you see everything that I do, right? I like to do things. I like creating program. I actually had a lot of fun from the things I do at Scholar Hub. So you're welcome to check us out, see what we are doing. Thank you for sticking with us through the conversation. I know it's gone longer than the hour, but the conversation was just too good, right? So I couldn't just cut it. So I'm going to end the live by just sharing a video testimonial from our previous cohort. It's just like 1 minute, and then we'll go for the day. Let's see, it's right here.
Can you believe it?
What have I signed myself up for?
I can't believe 3 weeks have flown by so fast.
Another milestone achieved by me. Congratulations. I'm so excited for myself.
Hi everyone.
Olale here.
I'm Olayemi.
I'm so excited. It's day 20 out of 21 in the Cohort 14 Elevate Your Professional Presence with Dr. Amaka.
When I first heard about the Elevate Your Professional Presence by Dr. Amaka on LinkedIn, I thought it was going to be just another LinkedIn visibility challenge.
It was a transformative experience for me.
We were stretched, we learned, and we grew.
Right from mastering the art of content development to strategic engagements and positioning myself as a thought leader in my field, it has been a wonderful learning experience.
I can say that this program wasn't even about posting. It taught me accountability, discipline, showing up every single day.
This was a real coaching program.
This program can be a game changer for you if you're seeking to elevate your presence and position yourself better for opportunities on LinkedIn.
What I signed up for was just to be visible on LinkedIn. What I got was coaching, life coaching in growth, finding clarity, purpose, and how to keep doing better.
I wouldn't lie, the challenge stretched me. It pushed me way out of my comfort zone, and I definitely got to the point where my body and my mind were itching to go back to my comfort zone, but I pushed on regardless.
Thank you very much.
I'm very much grateful.
I am really, really grateful.
Thank you, Dr. Makai Feduba. Thank you to Scholar of Mentoring Academy. I'm a proud alumni and I'm happy.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Oche, can you say Ijoma first? Say bye-bye, and then Oche will say bye, and then we can close the live. You're muted anyway.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
All right, Oche, final word. Bye-bye.
All right, bye everyone. I celebrate you guys. Well done, Dr. Marka. Good, great work you're doing with the community, Scholar Up Academy. Looking forward to the amazing future cohorts, 100 more, 1,000 more cohorts. Cheers.
Amen. Thank you so much, everyone. God bless you. Enjoy the